Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your very special video today. We have Jason Brink. We should say Jason Bitbender Brink, and he is from Gala Games. And Gala Games is somebody I talked to about 5 months ago when they first listed their token on the BitTrue platform. And they had this game that I have been playing that's really, really fun called Town Star. But in just those 5 months, we have this huge announcement. This is really big. They are going to integrate onto the platform of the FlareNetworks. And this is something that we'll discuss a little bit. Plus, they also have a brand new game called Mirandus. And I understand from what I've heard on different people talking about it, it's coming and it is really something special. And plus Townstar has a lot of upgrades and a lot of new additions that I want to talk about. There's just so much to talk about. So Jason, welcome.
Thank you very much, Eddie. How are you today?
I'm good. I think we'll tell everyone that I made this arrangement in time at 5:30, thinking I was doing it 5:30 Japan time. And when I used your schedule, yeah, it's not your fault, it's my fault. I came to realize I had chosen 5:30 in the morning. So
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm usually just going to bed about now, but I managed to go to sleep early and I got up and I feel good. And actually, it's kind of nice, I'm going to have the whole day after this. So I think it's going to be a very productive day for me.
Isn't it? Isn't it nice? The Gala Games community in our Discord knows that I wake up like insanely early, checking in at the Discord like 4:30 in the morning. Hey, what's everyone doing? Everything okay? Nothing blew up overnight, right? It's good times. It's good times.
You're an early bird then.
Very much so. Very much so. That's been I've been an early bird my entire life.
So does that mean you're asleep before midnight?
There's a story that goes along with this that's kind of interesting if you'd like me to tell it. But basically, when I was younger, I put myself on a polyphasic sleep schedule. So rather than sleeping like 8 hours at night like a normal human being, I would sleep 20 minutes every 4 hours. And so I did this for about 2 years. And so it's basically 2 hours of elapsed sleep time over a 24-hour period, which is not nearly enough to live on, obviously. But your body gets used to it. And I stayed on that schedule for a really long time. And the side effect of that is that I can fall asleep instantly and wake up instantly. So I usually don't go to sleep until 1 in the morning, and I'm usually back up and running by 4 or 4:30.
Do you dream in that short period of time?
100%, and they're all lucid. It's very weird.
Yeah, I just I've been from very early on somebody who goes for like 24-hour period and then crashes.
Yeah. No, I can definitely do that too. When my head starts to get hot, then I know that I'm reaching the end of my my durability. It's like I have the little button that pops out like on a turkey. I'm totally done. Time to turn off. Can't do anything else. Get me away from computers before I do stupid things.
It's your body indication, the warm
Yeah.
head. That's a new one for me.
It's weird. It's weird. My wife is like, "Oh, yeah, you must be tired. Can tell."
Yeah, well, I think that's just the signal your body's giving you. So let's start. We've got, I think, I wrote down 4 basic outlines. We want to get an update about Townstar. We want to talk about Mirandus, and we want to talk about the node, because I think that's new since you and I last talked.
It's not new, but we weren't really focusing on telling you the story surrounding it and what it does and all of that. And I think that it's time to start rolling a little bit more of that out.
Okay. And then we want to talk about the FlareNetworks.
Absolutely.
So, Townstar. I played for a very long time, feeling quite obsessed.
It really sucks you in, doesn't it? It sucks you in. It looks super simple. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is such a simple game. It's so easy. I don't even know why I should bother." And then you realize that it crushes you. Like it will destroy you if you let it. It's an amazingly immersive game.
Yeah, I
And
was growing things. I was cutting down wood. I was building out sheds. I was busy, 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 busy. You're just really busy trying to keep everything in timing.
yeah, yeah, no, it keeps busy. We have people right now with the way that Gala is right now. So basically every week we have a weekly tournament, and about 100,000 Gala is given out. And the grand prize right now at current values is almost $400, I think, that they take home for competing for a week. And $400 can make a really big difference for people. And so there are people right now, some of our best players are in the Philippines, constantly placing up in the top, and they're just absolutely dedicated to it. It's really fun to watch them, develop.
So to win, is it like how much you can produce and take to market? Is it like a bottom
You
line
get
of how much you've produced?
Right, you get points based on, you get like stars in game based on the number of things that you sell. So
Uh-huh.
some of the really low value crops, like, you just collect wheat and you sell the wheat, you don't get a lot for that.
Or the
But you can
cotton wasn't a lot either, was it?
cotton doesn't get you a lot, but you can build all the way up to making cakes
Uh-huh.
and having blue steel. And so
Uh, I
the
didn't get that far with blue steel.
I've never gotten anywhere near, like, don't like I do not have the patience to do it. It's not my style of game. But in our Discord, they often refer to it as the cake game or the steel game, and the direction that they're going. And actually within the next period of time, I don't want to give an exact date because you know how these things go, but we will be releasing wine into the game as well. So you will be able to make wine as an end product, and there's going to be a couple different varieties of wine, and you have to mine the sand in order to get the glass to make the bottles. And like it's a very like it's a whole different expansion of the game, and I think people are really going to love it.
So you have vineyards and
Yeah.
yeah, and then you'll go through production of both
Yep. Yep.
bottle and wine
Yep.
and maybe corking.
You have to have, I'm not sure about the corks, honestly, but I know that you need to have oak because you have to make barrels.
Yeah.
And so, it's this whole other completely new tree of products that is getting, built out. So that's going to be a very interesting addition to the game.
You'll have
And we
more
also,
land.
the additional land is coming. I don't think they're going to be released at the same time, but there is going to be larger board sizes coming in the fairly near future.
Yeah, your
So
work
it's
is never done in that ecosystem.
Oh no, it's there's a whole team that is devoted just to pushing stuff out for Townstar and making new content. And we've got the next thing that's going to be released as well, or not the next thing, but in the future, is there's going to be the concept of being able to actually attack towns, so that you'll be able to mess with your competitive neighbors' productivity to try to you know get a few extra points on top of them. We have a new bot that's being introduced into the game, the boom bot, that is essentially a little warrior that goes to raid the other nearby town, that you're in competition with. There's a lot more coming to the game. A lot more.
So you always are at risk of being attacked by this boom bot. How
I
does he
think
destroy what you built?
I don't know exactly how they're building that in the game mechanic, and I am not the game designer myself, so I don't want to say anything that will, box them in. I
That
don't want to have
adds a
that.
level of stress.
Well, the way that I imagine that it will go is that it will only be, I mean, the boom bot itself, there's only 1,000 of them that will ever exist. Okay, so they're not a common item.
Uh-huh.
And so they will probably only be held by the top tier players, and used against those within the very, very, very top tier
Yeah.
in certain situations. And we're also going to be spinning up additional servers so that people can have servers that match what they want. So there'll probably be servers that, don't have that as a concept. The free play server, if you're just in there playing, which is like completely filled up right now, then there's nobody's going to go blow your stuff up. It's just going to be, you go, you play, you build your little world, you have fun, you make whatever you want, and it's a relaxing thing. So
Yeah, I'm not
it's going
so
to be interesting.
sure I want to be, and when you do have to protect, you have some sort of means to take that bot out.
I don't think you can take it out, but you can probably defend yourself. I don't know how that works though, yet at this point. That's again, that's not my area.
Yeah, I want to try at least once and see.
Oh, for sure.
So you are working on this new game, Mirandus.
Yeah,
I looked at it online. Looks totally different than Townstar.
very different. Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So Mirandus is an epic MMORPG, open world MMORPG that is essentially taking blockchain gaming to an entirely new level. Okay, what we're creating is we're creating this open world that you as a player can have ownership of a part of that world, not like a square. You don't get like a square of land and everyone has squares of land, and that's sort of the function. Imagine a massive open world that you walk out into this world and you claim a little portion of it and you say, this is where I'm going to have my homestead, or this is where I'm going to have my whatever, and you're able to then build your little house there, and it has plots within it that can be rented out to other players who may want to have shops. So if you have a large castle that will come with a large number of plots, for example, within it, you can then rent those out, potentially monetizing them to people who want to run blacksmith shops or want to run, carpenter shops or taverns or, things like that. And the idea, and I know that you said that Townstar looks very different from Mirandus, but a lot of the same functionalities and loops are built into Mirandus as well. Mirandus is meant to be a simulation in the same way that Townstar is a simulation. So in Townstar, I'm sure you figured out that, water matters, trees matter, shade matters. All of these things that matter to an actual farmer
Right.
matter inside Townstar as well. The same is true of Mirandus. If you want to have a blacksmith shop, there are going to be various products that are required in order to operate that shop. And so you build in these loops of activities where either you do some of these things yourself, or in game you participate in a growing ecosystem with the other players. So if you need somebody to provide you with charcoal to run your forge, okay, yes, you can make charcoal if you want, or you can go and buy charcoal from somebody else, who their thing is that they sit there and make charcoal all day. Very much like the actual world. And so it's what we're doing is quite interesting and quite unique. I think people are really, really going to like it.
So if you enter the space first, you're probably entering in not as a landlord, but a merchant. And then as you maybe gain more money, you can then buy
You
larger.
could buy you can buy large plots of land right now. So you can buy, they're called deeds, and you can buy them directly from our website. Most of the small ones have sold out at this point in time, but there's still quite a few mid and large deeds that are available for purchase. And you can buy them now. When a normal like you don't own anything at all player enters the game,
Yeah.
okay, they will be presented with the ability to sort of make their own destiny in the world. So you're not stuck into a specific area or trajectory. You can get in and you can play the way that you feel like playing. Some people are very into hack and slash adventuring. Some people are more into going and exploring and collecting resources and sort of the resource grind. So the idea is that we want you to have whatever type of game you want to have. And it should be free to play, and we don't believe that there will be any sort of gating that will keep you out. So you should just be able to get in there, play, and potentially collect resources that somebody else will be able to use.
So can I have employees too? Can I have help, hire help?
Sure, sure. You can set that up however you want. I mean, again, it's a simulation. If you want to have an employee, you can certainly have people that will come in and do some of these things. Certain structures, much like they do in Townstar, will also have NPCs that are attached to them in all likelihood, that will perform certain activities like your farms may to a certain extent water themselves, sort of thing. Like you're not going to have to physically go and pick up a bottle or a bucket of water and water your wheat. I mean, it's just nobody wants to do that. So that's a component, but it should be very, very, very fun and very interesting. In fact, just yesterday, I got to see some of the actual live gameplay, which I haven't talked about anywhere yet. That is going to be very, very cool when people have a chance to see it. We're actually going to be unveiling that at GalaCon on the 28th of this month.
Oh, very
So
soon.
yeah.
Great. Yeah. Are there are there professional services like doctors and firemen and policemen? I'm just kind of curious of the
in
ecosystem.
Stuff like that isn't really worked into the game to
Mhm.
my knowledge. Okay, now again, not the game designer, it's not my game.
Yeah.
McCarthy is the one who's the master behind it. There are bakers, cheesemakers, dairies, butchers, woodworkers, leather workers, farmers of any particular type, millers, tavern owners,
Mhm.
hotels, temples, so you can heal at a temple and stuff like that. I mean, there's lots of different things. Some of that it sounds to me, if it were my game,
Mhm.
okay, that would be NPC driven. So if you have a castle, there's a certain number of staff that come with that castle and they do certain things. But I don't know if that's exactly how he's going to handle it.
So everything you acquire in this game, I see on the website, it's one of these, the owners or the players own everything, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the very important aspect to know, so that if I am a blacksmith and I am able to get my forge, my tools, I have horseshoes, I have leather pants, I don't know, I'm just guessing, some of the things I might have. And then if I wanted to make a change, a career change, let's say I want to run the tavern,
Hmm.
I have a ecosystem, a way to sell those items
Sure.
that I have. Yeah.
Sure,
And
you could
then,
sell them on OpenSea however you'd
uh,
like. You'll probably be able to transact them within the game as well through various means. Don't want to give too many details on that yet because parts of that are still flexible. But you could sell it on OpenSea anytime you want.
and I'm familiar with that too. And where I'm trying to lead into is that with the NFTs that look like they're going to come by
Hmm.
way of integrating with the Flare networks,
Hmm.
I was just assuming, and maybe I'm assuming wrong, that those non-fungible tokens are going to be related to some of the products that are in the game. Is that right?
So the way that games work, is that you essentially you have a database. Okay,
Okay.
so typically, let's just pretend for a second that we're talking about just a normal AAA game that has nothing to do with the blockchain. All of that functions on a database. It's either a local database or a massive database, hosted by the company that, if it's an online sort of thing. And those databases are very, very, very efficient. And blockchain at this point in time is nowhere near the level of efficiency needed for that. So let's discuss the concept of a blacksmith,
Okay.
for example. Now, just to think about what it takes to create a sword, for example, you're going to need steel. Okay. And if you're going to need steel, that means that you're going to need ore, right? And you're going to need probably some charcoal so that you can heat the steel. And you're probably going to need some wood and you're going to need some leather. You know, you're going to need a hammer, you're going to need an anvil, you're going to have all of these various tools that come with the creation of this item. Now, that item itself, especially if you're very skilled, let's say you've been working on perfecting your craft for a long time, that item itself may be a very valuable item. And all of the pieces that go into the creation of that item in aggregate may be worth something, but nobody is going to have a blockchain based piece of coal. Nobody really wants that. Nobody cares. So parts of that stay database driven. And then once you create this NFT, okay, there are this item in game, it is then up to you to decide whether you would like to carry that item over to the blockchain. And if you'd like to carry that item over to the blockchain, this is where Flare comes in as being particularly important. Because of the very low transaction fees, it becomes very easy for you to do that. And then once you've minted it to the blockchain, then it can be traded outside the game. But it isn't required to be outside the game in order for it to function in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So when I decide to mint something, am I choosing what that item is?
You'll be able to, well, you have the item, you've created the item in the game, you've gone through all of the effort to make sure that that item is there,
Okay.
and then you will choose to put that item on the blockchain. And right now, if you were to choose to do that with Ethereum, if you were to choose to mint an ERC 1155, you're going to have to mortgage your house, remove one of your arms, and possibly sell a kidney. But with Flare, that problem will be solved.
I got you now. So it's a matter of moving onto the blockchain at a more than reasonable price, which can't be done
Right.
now.
Correct. Right now, that's just not really. I mean, there are, to be very, very clear, there are blockchains out there that do things very cheaply,
Uh-huh.
but they're not scalable in the same way. And this is one of the reasons that we're really looking forward to Flare for.
So it can scale up to, meaning lots and lots of items can go on,
Lots and lots of items, lots and lots of transactions,
and the
and then
transaction.
for each transaction that takes place on the blockchain, there's going to be many transactions that take place just in the game world to get to that point. So we kind of split the difference there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was on Etherscan yesterday looking at the Gala transactions. I
Mhm.
was checking out all the blocks, the amount and the transaction fees, and how many things were happening. I mean, things were coming up like every minute, basically, items were coming up. So there was a lot of activity, and the fees were very, very high. And so I can see that this is going to be a really good solution for those people who like to um, build out their work and to own that, and then to bring it to the blockchain.
Right.
So when they bring it to the blockchain, are they tying it into a smart contract?
It will be created via a smart contract. So the minting transaction itself happens via a smart contract.
Hmm.
And when we look at how this is going to work split across various different chains and solutions, like base layer solutions like Flare, and second layer scaling solutions like Matic, and others like that, users will be able to choose where they want their items to go. So if you really like Flare, if everything that you do, is oriented towards the Flare network, then you'll be able to do that. If you want to put it somewhere else, you'll be able to do that as well. And there will be a sort of central oracle that will control the quantity of these items that exist. So, for example, if we have an item that's a certain sword,
Uh-huh.
okay, and we can only say, we say there's 200 of these swords that exist in the world,
Mhm.
then those swords, we need to be able to control that quantity as it moves across various chains. So there's 50 on Ethereum,
Mhm.
50 on some other thing, and 100 of them are on Flare. We have to make sure that it never goes above 200. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
So it's a fun little technical problem.
if I have my sword on Flare,
Uh-huh.
is there going to be a marketplace that some other chain can come in and buy that from me?
Not that another chain could, a cross-chain marketplace. I don't want to say it's impossible, but that's
Uh-huh.
quite a big technical lift.
Yeah, I
That's a
just was
pretty big
wondering,
lift.
is it
Well,
maybe
I mean,
yeah.
just because of the sheer complexity of that. I mean, for let's say hypothetically speaking, because Flare is EVM, it's Ethereum virtual machine, right?
Mhm.
You could hypothetically speaking, okay, make Flare run perfectly on a website that also runs on the Ethereum virtual machine. So you could have an OpenSea version of Flare, for example. I don't know if that's something they're working on. I'm just throwing this out here as a total hypothetical. That would be something that would work. So I imagine that there will be a marketplace for one type of item and then a marketplace for the other types of items. And then people who want to will move those items from one to the other if they so desire.
Yeah, I would kind of imagine that's maybe a long-term goal for
Yeah.
for the game industry and all. And so for to start though, it would be available to um, buy and sell and trade within just the ecosystem, other people who
Yeah.
are playing on Mirandus. But that is
Other
right.
other people who are playing on Mirandus, but ultimately I think that it will be possible to trade, outside. It's a wonderful cat.
Yeah, thanks. This is Momo. Yeah, I so when it'll be available to trade on the outside with other Gala games or outside with completely different.
Completely. I mean, you can take, that's the cool thing about having something on the blockchain, right? Is
Yeah.
we give you this sword, right? And you take this sword, and yes, you can use it in game, or you can go and send it to your friend, and you don't have to do anything in game to do that. You can do that directly from your wallet if you want. You can do that from your Gala Games interface that we have set up, or you'll be able to do it from any other interface that handles ERC 1155 transactions.
Like
Um,
when you gave me a fountain,
yeah, yeah,
the
your
same
fountain.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Fountains are cool though, right? Everybody
Yeah.
loves fountains.
Well,
Um,
you have to have a fountain.
yes, it makes things easier. The community, for a little while, we actually sold the fountains in our store, and everyone was up in arms about it because they're like, no, those are referral rewards. We don't sell those in the store. And so we turned them off, and immediately people were like, oh, I should have bought fountains. Oh no. It was funny.
Yeah, I don't think your farm would work without a fountain. You have to have a fountain. You have to have
You
water source.
you have to have water source. You can build wells, and your farmers
Oh,
can
right.
carry the water back and forth. And I think that you can do something
Right.
with like an ATV or something. I'm not sure though, to be honest. I don't play Townstar enough to get into the super deep details. That's not even super deep. I don't play very much. I don't have time. I don't have time to play.
Yeah, well, it definitely that that game is sorry, I just woke up. That game is something that you play for like 3 hours and it feels like it was 15 minutes,
Yep.
it goes so fast. Yeah. Yeah, that was happening to me. I would play starting at like 2 in the afternoon and then it would be 5. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do all these things. It's
Nice.
fun though.
I'll tell McCarthy. He'll like that.
So I want to talk about a node because there is someone in the community that we talked about. That's Jesse, and he is
Yes.
all excited about being a node operator. And so
Yeah.
I went to go sign up to be a node operator
Mhm.
and filled out my information. But I don't really understand. I saw that I have to have a certain amount of Gala tokens
To
to buy
purchase
that
it. Yeah.
node. And then
Correct.
I want you to explain, like, how does it work? What are the benefits? And why would I do it?
Sure. So essentially, by operating a Gala Games node, you're contributing to the network itself. Okay, so this is similar to people who are doing, Bitcoin mining or Ethereum mining or something like that, but it's much more targeted and useful. So by having a node, okay, ultimately in the long term, and there's some Medium articles about this, and I can send them to you. Maybe you can stick them in the show notes because it's a pretty technical topic, and there's people will have questions. Essentially, what you're doing is you're contributing resources to the network, both computationally and eventually in terms of storage and things like that. The entire node network ultimately is where we would like most of our games to actually reside. We would like to have the games themselves distributed around the world on the series of nodes so that when somebody goes to use it, use one of the games, rather than going to some centralized server that can fall down, it goes to this distributed network of nodes, which, they can query for the content and things like that. So that's the direction that that's going. In exchange for operating a node, the Gala network rewards the people who operate them with an amount of Gala every day. And occasionally, when NFTs are distributed to the node network, with NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So, we've been distributing Mirandus items. We've been distributing a few different things like that, fun little NFTs, some cool crypto art, just gets sent out to the nodes, and we have a provably random distribution that will distribute these items, at random to the people who are within the node operating community.
So do you have, how many nodes are operating right now?
Right now, if I remember correctly, I think somebody said about 2,500. About 20,000 have been sold over the entire course of the node program, but only about 2,000 of those are currently running. Total of 50,000 will ever exist. So no more than 50,000 will ever exist. And so, yeah, that's essentially, you can get them from our website, gala.games, and you run them right now. From a technical perspective, there's not a massive computational requirement. We tend to build things kind of in 3 steps. We have a concept, a form, and a function step. So right now the node network is being built out. It's connecting, it's providing some base level of transaction tracking. In the future, we'll be adding in additional layers of complexity that put more and more burdens on the nodes. In fact, yesterday we had a big meeting about some of the changes that are coming to the node network in a positive way. You won't be required to, operate a very, high intense, like mining type situation or anything like that.
Exactly.
But people who do can, and they can contribute to that, to the network, and, things like that. So
That's a lot of decentralization right now. I'm impressed.
oh, we're
with that
working
number.
very, very hard. We actually have, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. I'm going to say it anyway. Full speed ahead. Damn the torpedoes, right? We actually have a version of Townstar right now that runs completely decentralized across the entire node network, and it's currently running on our test network. It's not out on the whole public network, but we do have a version of Townstar that does not have any centralized servers attached to it. It just runs out on the network. So I'm very impressed by that. It's an awesome achievement, and hopefully we'll see that out in the wild soon.
Yeah, that shows that you've got a lot of people in the ecosystem that are excited to support the game.
Oh, for sure.
What about when you have this network of nodes out there, you get rewards as a
Correct.
person who is operating it, and does it work on like a computer that has just typical specs in it?
Yeah, right now it works on a computer that has, you can run it on your, PC, Mac, and there's also a headless Linux version that you can run if you want. It does verify transactions and keeps track of, it indexes transactions across the network. So it does do a little bit of work, but you can run it on a normal computer, without any difficulty. You need to run it for 6 hours within a 24-hour period in order to qualify for referrals.
Mhm.
And I highly recommend that you run it for 6 hours straight within that 24-hour period, not like turn it on and off and on, like just put it up and leave it up. I personally run mine on a virtual private server, that costs
Dedicated.
me, yeah, a few bucks a month. So it stays up 24 hours a day,
Mm.
contributing the most to the network in that way. But also I have the peace of mind of not like worrying, did I start it, or did
Uh-huh.
something go wrong? Did the power go out? So yeah.
If someone only has one computer and not a dedicated one for that,
Uh-huh.
can you still do your own
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, yeah,
while
sure,
it's running?
absolutely. It
Ah,
just runs in the background. It doesn't have a huge footprint right now.
uh-huh.
It does a bit, but it doesn't have like, it's not something that's going to uh, grind your computer to a halt, and then sit there. Like I've seen some like clients that do like Bitcoin mining or Ethereum mining in the background, and they just turn your computer into a slow piece of cold molasses. This does not do that.
And so can you talk about the rewards? Do you get paid out in Gala tokens or do you get
You
paid out?
receive you
Uh-huh.
receive Gala tokens. The distribution is at about 2 a.m. UTC every day.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you receive Gala tokens. They go to your treasure chest. The treasure chest inside the app.gala.games system is where all of this gets stored up. And then you can choose to mint it whenever you want. One of the things that you'll probably remember from our first conversation is that we were talking about the gas fees that we were spending,
Right.
like tens of thousands of dollars in gas fees to mint items to players, right?
Yeah, you said $12,000 in 1 month, I think it was.
No, that was $12,000 in one night that we talked to you. It was
Oh,
brutal. Like it was brutal.
oh, oh,
That was to do a giant minting that night, and we were doing it on a weekly basis then.
oh.
Basically, by having this in the treasure chest, this allows the users to decide when they want to mint it. And they essentially, it's the equivalent of paying the shipping and handling on it. So they pay their own fees to mint it, and they can do that whenever they want. And this will get much easier once we have Flare integrated.
Okay, so if people want to do a node now and
Yeah,
collect all their things and wait for the integration to
yeah,
mint,
you can
that's
totally do
fine.
that.
It's
Totally do that.
it's not a like it expires, sometimes you get something and then it has an expiration date
Right.
on it.
So I will say this.
Mhm.
No, it does not expire. We're not sitting here going like, oh, we're going to make this thing expire.
Uh-huh.
That said, it doesn't exist on a blockchain until you put it on a blockchain. So if the server farm gets hit by a solar flare and
Right.
half of the planet's Earth crust melts down, then
Yeah,
it's not on the blockchain, but we might have bigger problems to worry about, if that makes sense.
I do. So another, it's still in a state of risk, Yeah, I see that.
Yes, if you buy a bunch of nodes, which by the way, the nodes will be NFT based in the fairly near future, so you'll actually be able to move nodes if you would like. But if you buy a bunch of nodes and you earn a bunch of Gala rewards through contributing to the network, and it's just this massive pile, you probably want to just eat the minting fee and put it on Ethereum for the time being, rather than wait months for further integration.
How
It's
long
my
do you
two
think,
cents.
can you tell everyone, do we have an idea when the integration will be done? Uh-oh, I lost your sound.
Did you lose? Is it still
Oh, there,
gone?
now you're there.
I'm back. Yay! So basically, we're talking directly with Flare. I had a call with Hugo just the other day. Published a piece on our Medium about it. We up as quickly as possible. For us, we see this as being something that's mutually beneficial to both sides. So we would like to be one of the first to integrate Flare into our platform. And
Yeah.
we think it'll be really good for gamers, and I think everybody will really like that.
I would imagine there's going to be a lot of media coverage when that happens. I would imagine.
I think people are going to be really excited about being able to mint NFTs and send NFTs for little to no fees. I think that's going to be something that's going to be really impressive to people, especially when they can already use them in game.
So I'm just going to guess, this is totally from looking at the Etherscan amounts yesterday that people were paying for tokens. You know, there was a lot of $60, $70. There was a
Oh,
lot
massive fees,
lot of
massive
that.
fees.
I saw some I saw some $200 fees.
Hmm.
So it'll probably go down to something like what, like 46 cents or 30 cents.
Something. I mean, if you look at the some of the basic technologies will make it so that your transaction fees, and I don't want to put words into Hugo's mouth with this, but it will be little to no fees.
Uh-huh.
Is words I have heard, and I think that in general that's going to be the direction that things need to go, because like this whole gas situation is not sustainable. It doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. And Ethereum itself, well, it has a great deal of utility, okay, and will, in my personal opinion, not investment advice in any way, shape, or form. I think Ethereum will probably end up being worth more than it is right now, which will make those fees even worse.
Even
You
higher.
know,
Yeah.
so it's a bad situation in general, and it has to change. And I mean, that's kind of like from a philosophical perspective, that's how innovation works, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Like you never think, oh gee, it'd be really cool to build a railroad all the way across this country until you walk across it with a damn wagon. You have to have that pain, you have to have that the suffering before you get to see the light at the end of the tunnel and realize there's a better way. So eventually there's going to be people going, meh, back when I was a kid, I remember having to spend $287 in Ethereum fees. Grandpa, you had fees? Oh, it was terrible. I mean, that's kind of where we're in that stage of technological development right now, and it's going to be fun to get out of it.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the well-funded, really big, but they're burning cash. They are, to make their ecosystem work, they are taking on those fees. But when new developers and brand new startups and people who are just trying to build, it's a showstopper.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Absolutely.
So I'm happy, really happy for the gaming industry. I'm really happy for you, happy for
Thank you.
all the people who are going to be playing, that they are not
We're
spending thousands of dollars in that.
Oh, for sure. We're very delighted, and we're happy to welcome the entire Flare and XRP community in here. Everybody's a gamer. At the end of the day, we're all gamers, and one of the things that I know that the XRP community takes a lot of flack from a lot of other sort of
Oh, do we?
crypto things. Yeah, just a little bit, just a smidge. The way that I look at it though is like we're all here, we're all gamers, we're all trying to build something better together. So I absolutely welcome them in, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's going to take all of us to get there to the end goal that we would like to achieve. And so yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy to
I think
welcome them in.
the participation part, I believe that most of the XRP community understands. And in order for the utility to work, the participation is there. That's why so many people are sending tips in XRP on Twitter, and so many people
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
have a coil blog that is monetized through the micro streaming of payments, and a lot of people have their paystring IDs, and yeah, this is a community that I think likes to participate. So no doubt. And I
For
want to
sure.
try this Mirandus game. So when will that be ready to play?
Well, I'll tell you this. I will personally extend my invitation to the closed beta to you. So you will get to play before just about anyone else does. Probably at about the same time as some of our large deed holders and Gala Gold community gets to try things out. We're hoping that we can get to that point towards the end of the year. And that you should be able to go in there. All of the core game mechanics should be there, and it will be a matter of testing and putting things together and polishing to go forward from that point.
That sounds fun. And at that time, when it goes live to everyone, after I've had a chance to get in there and play around, I'd like to meet up again so that we can talk about it.
Oh, for sure. There may be other things that you want to talk about before then. I'm just putting that out there as a general thought. There's a lot of development that's going on that people don't see right now, and I think they will start to see it soon.
Well, I'm paying attention, and if something big happens to come out, I will be on your Google Calendar again, booking a time so that we can talk.
Awesome.
And I will be sure this time not to book myself at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you already know I don't sleep, so just tell me when you want to talk and I will make it work for you. And
Yeah,
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you taking the time and caring enough to make this meeting early in the morning for you.
This learning curve is really enjoyable for me. So I'm, was looking forward to getting up and having you this morning. And just so many things. The gaming industry, you were so right to tell me last time that we are all gamers, and that's why
Yeah,
everybody enjoys playing, because it's kind of built in our DNA.
it is part of who we are
Yeah,
as humans.
yeah,
You don't have to teach a human how to play. We know how to
yeah.
do that from the get-go. And we've taught ourselves not to play in so many different ways. And so for me, this is a hugely important thing, and we want to spread this around the world. Can I actually invite the XRP community and your listeners to do something really quick?
Yeah, of course.
So I would like to invite all of you who are listening to this, okay, to come in and join our Discord at galagames.chat. Okay, that'll take you directly into our Discord. You can drop in and you can meet everybody else. I am super, super, super proud of our Discord because we have what I see as the most positive, awesome, uplifting Discord on the internet. And I think that as long as everybody's willing to play nice and get along together and focus on the fact that, hey, we're gamers trying to build an awesome thing, I think you'll really love it. And I would definitely encourage you to come in and join.
Gala.games Discord.
Get Gala.games Discord, but you can find that at galagames.chat. We have a
Okay.
special link set up just for that.
I'll put those in the description too as
Okay,
well.
cool.
I'm sure that you're going to have a lot of very good, fun people with good manners, and this community has a lot of
I know.
really good
Yeah,
quality people. Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
Jesse's in there now, and I think
Jesse is. Yeah, I actually in we just started talking and I posted that screenshot of us in the Gala Gold chat.
Mhm.
And I actually tagged him and said that he got a mention. So he's going to be very happy to hear that, I think.
Yeah, it's really fascinating for me to see a person who I wouldn't ever have thought that got bit by the bug and now he's down the rabbit hole and
I was reading one of his giant tweet strings the other day. I'm super impressed. Super impressed.
Did you read he's got an article out on Coil. Did you read that yet?
I
About
haven't seen that yet. I'll have to
Mirandus?
check that out.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
I'll definitely have to check it out. No, I've to be completely honest, I am like running in 15 million flipping directions at once right now. And it's been a while since I've had a chance to just sit down and read. So maybe I'll try to do that this evening.
Whenever you get a chance, it's there. Oh, Jason, I'm just really thrilled to see this growth and to see this development and to see the integration with Flare so that people can really engage and
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
own
huge.
their items and not go broke. And I mean, it's just, yeah, this is really world changing. And I say that with all honesty, that this kind of technology that's being done is going to change everybody's world who loves to play games.
It will. That's what we're here to do. We're here to enhance freedom and to drive the industry forward. For too long, it's been held by too few. We want to make it so that everybody holds a piece.
Yeah. And congratulations on the amount of nodes. That's just, wow. I mean, I really didn't have any idea that there were that many. It's really impressive
Yeah,
number.
no, it is. And we're doing a lot with them. I mean, that specific spot, I mean, it's not as to put it bluntly, it's not as sexy as talking about a video game. Okay, a video game you can really dig into and you can build this world of what this game is, and you can. I mean, we have people in our Discord who are starting guilds already for doing certain things. Like the Farmers Guild and things like that, and they've bought deeds like the village of the farmer, and they're figuring out what they want to put in their different plots, and people have made amazing maps and graphics of their. I mean, like, really go deeply into it. It's kind of hard to do that with nodes, right? Because it's like a little bit cold and sterile, and not doesn't incite the passions, except in the Gallagher Guld Discord, or sometimes in our node Discord channel, people get very passionate there. But for most people, the nodes aren't a thing of passion. So for me, though, it's one of the most exciting pieces of the ecosystem, because there's just so much to it, and there's so much that we can do with it. And breaking away from the kind of wasteful models that have existed in the past for verification, the proof of work, and like, let's burn down the rainforest to mine Bitcoin sort of thinking. We are going to be doing a lot that is actually useful work. We will run games on these, we will store game content on them, and it will, the node holders will enhance the network for everybody, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, this is part of the participation of being decentralized. That is
Right.
a beautiful model.
Yeah, I love it.
Beautiful. All right, Jason, we're going to call it quits. I really enjoyed having you. And
thank you.
I'm going to keep track. And we don't have to wait definitely until Mirandus is completely open to everybody. If there's a big announcement that happens,
there's gonna be some stuff coming. There's gonna be some stuff coming.
I'm gonna be contacting you, and always, if you've got a spare 30 minutes, I'd love to have you on so you can
always
share with everyone. Great. Super.
Thank you so much, Eddie. I really appreciate it. And thanks to your community for taking the time to listen to me. I know I kind of talk a lot, so thank you very much.
You're a dream. You're a dream to have on. I just have to sit and enjoy, and that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Peace out, guys.